Hello, hello, and welcome back to Lyre. We've been introduced to what's his name? The Cato? Yeah, I don't remember his name already. That's fine. We'll just continue with the meeting, I guess. Kadaj then walks down the hall and disappears through the archway, his tail whipping around the corner. Before anything else can happen, Adria speaks up. Lord Richter, I'd like to have a word with my father alone, if you don't mind. Reiner looks at his son with an inquisitive look. Of course. I'll be going now. Goodbye. Take care. I turn and walk down the hall with Lyle following behind me. I can hear Adrius mumbling something to Reiner as I round the corner. Even with the echoing halls, it's hard to make out what he's saying. We make our way we make our way a couple steps down the corridor before Lyle speaks. He seems a bit eccentric. I take a seat on one of the benches nearby and rest my head against the back of the wall. I like him. Lyle sits down next to me, lifts his tail so that he doesn't sit on it. I don't know. I don't trust him. He crosses his arms and looks at me. He seems like a man with motives. Is it because he's a cat? No, it's not because he's a cat. That's a bit rude, you know. He has an annoyed look on his face. I was only joking, but I'm sorry. It's fine. I actually enjoy cats. They're good at making conversations. As we talk, I notice two guards walking down the hall, with their helmets under their shoulders. One is an eagle who looks to be in his late 30s, and the other is a large bear with a beard. Do we get to see them? They're wearing the same type of armor as Lyle. When they get close enough, the bear nudges the eagle, looking in Lyle's direction. He whispers something in the eagle's ear, which makes the eagle chuckle. They get closer, so I decide to stare at the wall and pretend I'm lost in thought. I'd like to avoid drawing attention. Lyle watches them as they pass. Gentlemen. Captain! They both say it in unison, as one a bit more begrudgingly than the other. Lyle gives a nod, and they both continue moving down the hallway. I wonder what that was about. It seems very forced. As I was saying. He bends over, resting an elbow on his knee and beginning to speak in a more hushed voice. You can't just blindly put your trust into people like him. I know that. I never said I trusted him. I just think he's nice. And what do you mean by that? By what? People like him. It's not like that. I meant ambassadors and diplomats. I give him plenty of time to let those words settle in before talking. Lyle, I'm an ambassador. Yeah, but I mean you're not. You don't. I trust you, though. And somehow, I know you won't make me regret it. I'm taken aback by this and can't think of what to say at first. Lyle, thank you for putting your trust in me. I'm just here to help. I won't let you down. He stands up and looks down at me. I know. I get up and carry on with walking down the halls. Lyle catches up to me and matches his pace with mine. Hey, I want to show you something really cool. What is it? You'll see. Follow me. I want to dispute this at first, but I shrug my shoulders and follow him down the hall. We stroll down a corridor overlooking a courtyard, and up ahead, there's an exit that leads outside. Lyle picks up his pace, practically speed walking. He reaches the archway and turns around, standing there waiting for me to catch up. I reach the opening and look outside. Pretty, huh? It's alright. The cold fall wind lightly whips my face, and I'm found staring at a beautiful garden. Smooth, round stones and berry bushes line the dirt path. Each berry is red and shining, almost as big as a cherry tomato. The entire garden is surrounded by stone walls and large, thick trees. This place feels more natural than most gardens, like a serene, sanctuary. Birds chirp and, wind blows through the trees, causing leaves to dance to the ground. That's what that says. Yeah, excuse me. Towards the center is a pond with a fruit tree. The fruit tree has round pink fruit growing on it. Some of the fruit has fallen to the ground next to the pond and at the base of the tree. The pond has a strange green glow to it, as if there are lights at the bottom. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. Welcome to my favorite place in the kingdom. It's beautiful out here. And it's also a really nice day. The weather is usually fares better this time of day. He's right. The cold isn't that bad with the sunlight, basking on our skin. I guess I should enjoy moments like this before the weather becomes too unbearable. Oh, here! We walk over to one of the berry bushes, and he plucks one of them. Try one of these. Oh. I take the berry and put it in my mouth. I take a bite out of it, and instantly it bursts with flavor in my mouth. It's not necessarily the best taste, but it feels good. The berry was cold, which is good because I like cold fruit. That was pretty good. A smile breaks out on his face as he pops a berry into his mouth. Yeah, they're really good. Reiner absolutely loves these. Really? Yeah. Sometimes he'll take walks through the garden and pick berries to bring to his room in a basket. They grow really fast, so we always have plenty. Also, all of the fruit in the garden is unaffected by winter, so we don't have to worry about them. This is actually really cool. Now that he mentions it, I was wondering why the fruit was still on the tree, especially since it snowed a couple times while I was here. Of course, it wasn't enough snow, and I can't read this sentence. Of course, it wasn't enough snow to be bad. Okay. It snows much more up in the mountains. Thinking about the snow in the mountains causes me to think of the avalanche. I try to push it out of my mind, but a horrible feeling begins to overwhelm me. What's wrong? It's nothing. My mind has just been racing lately. I don't know. Sometimes I catch myself talking to people, but I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying or what the other person is saying. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah, sometimes. But that's not what's bothering you, is it? How can you tell? I may not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I'm good at being able to tell when someone's lying. Is that why you don't like Kadaj? Well, I guess. The problem with him, though, is that I can't tell whether he was lying or telling the truth. And in my opinion, that's worse. Now, stop changing the subject. What's wrong? I clasp my hands together in front of my face and continue to walk down the path at a slow pace. My thoughts have been going dark places recently. I've been trying to push them out, but they keep resurfacing. What are these thoughts about? Well, so much has happened recently. A lot of it happened while I was out, so it feels like it's happening too fast. But by the time I had woken up after being knocked out for so long, the survivors had already left for Iron. I don't even know who died. Did I know them? Then my mind starts racing with more thoughts of what happened. I've never really been bothered by something like this before. I fiddle with one of the buttons on my vest as we walk. I don't know why, but death has never really bothered me that much. Sometimes I feel like I'm forcing myself to act shocked or sad. Growing up, people chose close to me or people I knew would die all the time. I guess that's I guess that I'm just numb to it. Or I was. This time it's different. With each passing day, the guilt gets worse and worse, and I take a moment to catch my breath. I just miss home, I guess. As childish as that sounds. I throw one of the berries to the side of the path in anger. That's not childish. Yes, it is. I know he's right, but I just feel so stupid right now. It's completely normal to be homesick. Do you have any family? A wife? Oh boy. No, I'm not married. Really? I figured you would be one of the most desirable bachelors in your kingdom. I try with all my might not to get flustered by this comment. Yes, well, if only I desired them as much as they desire me. We keep walking for a moment before he finally takes the hint. Oh. I had no idea. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I would have never guessed. He puts a paw on my shoulder, smiling. Yeah, most people don't. I want to change the subject, but he beats me to it. You might not like to hear this, but it's often the phrase most people use, but you're in a better place now. That was a tragic accident, and you shouldn't blame yourself for it. I don't blame myself for it. It just terrifies me thinking about it. Death has always been a pretty confusing subject for me. I mean, I grew up being taught to feel a certain way about something, but then after a while I become numb to those feelings. And then, when those feelings really do take over, my entire mind just shuts down. Do you know what I mean? I kind of understand. He runs his paw through his neck for floof. Yes, again. Thanks for listening. I'd rather not talk about it anymore. We step off the path and stroll over to the pond underneath the fruit tree. I sit down in the grass, and Lyle walks up to the tree. He picks 2 ripe fruit from the branches and walks back over to where I'm sitting. He throws me a fruit, which I catch clumsily. Its skin is a bit tough, and the hole where the stem was is dripping with a sticky substance. It's gotten all over my right hand, but I ignore it. We take a seat on this tree stump in front of me, with an understanding smile on his face. Reiner can keep his weird chair. This is my throne. He then takes a large bite of the bottom of the fruit, getting all the juice over his mouth in the process. Oh, it's this image. Okay. This is the one that I keep seeing everywhere, so... Okay. So? Yes? You prefer the company of men? Oh, so that's what you got out of... So that's what you got out of that little chat we just had. I jab at his leg with a foot. Hey, you were the one who said that you didn't want to talk about the avalanche anymore. And can you blame me for being curious? I fold my hands on my lap and look down at the pond. I guess I can't. Sorry, I usually have a habit of dropping that information like a bomb. I'm not too open about it, but I also don't try to hide it. And you most likely won't have to. Most people in Lyre are perfectly fine with it. Yeah, I've heard. I don't know. I've just never really been interested in women. Neither have I. He shuffles his feet on the ground and looks at the fruit in his hands. Pause. Wait, really? Yeah. I mean, growing up, I thought I liked girls. I assumed that I was supposed to. Fooled myself into thinking the feelings I had were right, and that this was how it was supposed to be. But as I got older, I realized I felt more comfortable around men. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. I can't believe this is happening. I'm really happy to hear this, but also super nervous. Does he think I'm trying to make a move on him? Is he making a move on me? My mind spirals out of control for a brief moment. It's been a problem for me in the past, but it doesn't bother me that much anymore. Yeah, I try not to let it bother me either. There's a long pause. It seems like the both of us don't know whether to continue or on the topic or change the subject. I hold up my fruit that he gave me. What is this? Oh, that's a dragon apricot. They're really sweet, and they have a lot of juice. Yeah, I can tell. I point to his muzzle, which confuses him for a second. He goes to lick it off, but completely misses. Then he sticks his tongue out at me. Wait, what is... Did your tongue... orange? What? Okay. Oh, it turns your tongue orange? Is that what this is supposed to say? Okay. I chuckle at his silly display and he laughs too. He's right, they do turn your tongue orange. I take a bite into mine and my mouth bursts with flavor. I don't really enjoy the texture that much, but its pros outweigh the cons. This is really good. Yeah. Just watch out for the seeds in the middle. The seed in the middle. I look down, and sure enough, there's a seed exposed from my bite. We continue to eat and talk as the sun slowly sets over the mountains. After a while, we head inside the castle and make our way back to my room. I have a question. Ask away. Why aren't you wearing your armor? Today is my 23rd birthday. I get the day off. Why didn't you tell me? Because it's not really that important to me. And I wanted to spend the day with you without it being too extra. I wouldn't have spent all morning doing work if I knew that it was your birthday. Richter, honestly, it's fine. I enjoyed being able to relax. Plus, that armor is a real pain in my shoulders. He rolls his shoulders back and smiles. Getting on the topic of Lyle's armor causes me to remember those guards we saw outside the throne room. Hey, Lyle. Yes, Richter? Do you remember those two guards whispering about us in the hallway? He takes a moment to answer. Yes. Do you think they were talking about us? Oh, wait. What do you think they were talking about? Richter, I think they were talking about me. They think that I'm your lackey. He looks down at the ground with a frown. But you're not. You were just assigned to be my guard. It's a bit confusing, though, don't you think? The captain of the royal guard. We assign the guard an ambassador, when he should be guarding the king. Reinar appointed me as captain for certain reasons that he feels he doesn't need to justify, and the other guards are confused by that. Well, what do you think? He picks a leaf off of one of the vines and examines it. I trust our king's judgment. He's very wise and has plenty of experience. I believe that he chose me for a reason. My ability to command, my mentality, my youth, whatever it may be. And he assigned me to you because... well, I don't know. But there are other guards with much more experience who can protect the king and the prince. And I like being your guard. He looks down at me with a smile. I like it too. We arrive at the door to my room, and Lyle opens it. Richter. Yes? I know that you're pretty open about it, but I won't tell anyone about what we talked about earlier. Oh, thanks. I don't really care if you do. Okay, just, can you promise me something? Sure. Please don't tell anyone what I said. Of course. Thank you. I step inside and lean against the doorway. Good night, Lyle. Good night. He takes off down the hall at a slow pace, and he walks down the hall. But as he walks down the hall, I hear him yell back to me. Don't forget to lock the door. I know. I yell back at him. Happy birthday. He turns around, ears red, giving a shy smile. Thanks. He walks off with his tail wagging. I close the door behind me, lock it, and take off my clothes. There's no shoes. What am I doing? The blankets on the bed are nice and warm due to the natural heat. I slowly drift off to sleep, thinking about Lyle. Okay, chapter 4. All right, day 18. Okay. Yeah, we just going. We just going. But all right. I'll end the part here, everyone. So I will see you around.